Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Ask Aztec, held every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I'm Brian Castleberry here with CDS to run us through this week's agenda and topics. Every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we'll have it. There'll be a live Q&A session every week where we'd just love to hear from you. So if you have any comments or questions or anything at all, we want to hear from you. Webinars should last somewhere around 30 minutes. Usually they've been lasting a little less than that. We want to make sure that you're productive and in the shop and not just listening to us. We will also go through and review a scan report and cover OE documentation just so that everybody can understand what we're doing here. And finally, we'll give an Aztec 2 update. I guess we're starting with the Aztec 2 update. The contract manufacturer has delivered the first batch of Aztec 2 boards. We've got them in Plano, Texas, and we're running quite a few through our tests and verifying that the functionality and working through any potential issues before we send the device out. We want to make sure that when you get it, it's good. We've got a mass production of 700 units underway. That should be starting soon. We also have the scheduled service request feature that's now live on our website. I want to make sure everybody knows this is not a mandatory thing to schedule your service, but should you like to schedule it, knowing that you'll have a customer come back in, say at 8 a.m., and they're going to need to have something checked out, maybe a light came back on, you can schedule your service with us and we can jump on and push you to the front of the list. So to get that customer in and out. Our mobile app has launched on the Android Play Store. Right now it's in beta, so we're testing it. It's going to be set up to where you'll be able to submit a work order from your mobile device, so you won't have to have your computer, you won't have to be walking back and forth from the shop back into the office to do it. It'll be right there in the palm of your hands. So we're really excited about that. So far, our testing has gone well. Functionality is good, good look. I think everybody will really enjoy using the device. It'll also have expanded capabilities soon, but right now we're working on getting the basic stuff up and going for you, and again, I really think you'll like it. Aztec 2s will begin shipping to pre-order customers in the coming weeks. We have 2 of them in the field now with beta testing shops that are all right with spending a little more time with us as we make sure that we have perfected the device and the process for you. So we want to, again, our whole goal is to make sure that that you get a good experience from using the Aztec. One thing that's always important when doing a scan is that you have proper battery support. I know every week we discuss the proper battery support, but it's amazing how quickly modules will drop off while we're scanning. Without proper battery support, we won't even know. One that we use here in our R&D lab is the Medtronic PSC 550. It's a fantastic device. I highly recommend it for all shops, just to, again, to make sure that you're maintaining proper battery voltage. Now we're going to go over a scan that was done just the other day by one of our master technicians who's with us today, William Potter, on a Tacoma. William, take it away, sir.
Thank you, Brian. Glad to have everybody here. So this week we're going to cover a 2011 Toyota Tacoma we worked on. This vehicle was hitting the rear pretty hard. It had rear frame support replaced, parts of the chassis, and lots of the brake components were disconnected. So this customer needed an ABS brake bleed procedure. Now the procedure in itself is not too long-winded, may take 15 to 20 minutes, but it can take over an hour. It just depends on how much air is in the system. So with this type of repair, it's crucial to have that battery support we were just talking about. because if we were to lose battery support, it could abort the whole operation and we would have to start over again, and loss of a lot of precious time there. So with this vehicle, called the shop and made sure we had them available to do that, and they also had a assistant on the ground. So one person was in the truck and one person was on the ground able to work the bleeders. So we continued the process. We had to go through the process 2 or 3 times of the ABS bleed procedure. And the teamwork that I experienced on the other end of the phone was excellent. Every time I gave a direction from the scan tool, the shop was immediate in following that and repeating it back to me so that we got the proper wheel done at the right time so we could stay with the vehicle as it went through the process. So after we finished the ABS blade procedure, we also noticed this code up here that's highlighted, the C1336 was a 0-point calibration of the deceleration sensor was undone. And this was stored in the ABS and was causing the light to come back on and flash when they went to test drive the vehicle. Okay, so when this vehicle was in an accident, it knocked out the calibration for that sensor, which measures the G-forces that the vehicle experiences. It is one of the main deciding factors in a collision of airbag deployment. So when we got back to this vehicle, we had to recalibrate that sensor. Also, you'll notice it had occupant classification system malfunctions, and they did have a deployment in the passenger seat squib. So here's the technical data that we pulled up on the zero calibration for the yaw rate sensor. We proceeded the testing with the sensor, and the sensor did check out, and we did perform the 0-point calibration, and the vehicle was repaired. And I'll say this again, I cannot stress how important it was for the battery support on that through this process as well. And also the vehicle had to be stabilized and not move through this whole procedure. So that shop did a really excellent job in working with me on that. And, you know, it saved them countless dollars. I mean, that procedure could take as little as 2 hours of labor on up to 6. It just depends on how it went at the dealership.
Well, thanks, William. I love that report because it truly shows what our master techs are able to do to help the techs in the collision centers. I mean, I don't know the skill level of the individual who's doing the work on the other end, but I can guarantee they didn't have the ability to turn on and off the modules and the analog brake pump. So this working together with the shop is something that makes me really proud. Something I'm just excited to be able to help collision centers with. So great job there, William. If you have any questions about a scan report you ever received, please send us a copy to askaztec@asktech.com so that we can address it, and maybe even use it in next week's Ask Tech seminar. Right now, I'd like to open it up to any questions anybody may have. Anybody out there? If you can hear me, say hello.
Hello.
Hello. All right, thank you so much. All right, well, I guess with that, there's no questions for this week. Again, if you do have something that you think of after the fact, please don't hesitate to email it to Ask Aztec, and we will, we can answer any number of questions from the sale of the Aztec to delivery date of Aztec to any technical questions you might have or assistance you might need. So we're absolutely here for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your business, and we look forward to seeing you next week on the Ask Aztec webinar.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.